What started last Saturday all comes to an end today. It's the final day, round-robin play here at the Scotties. It's a race to see who can finish first. With 2 draws remaining, Jennifer Jones stands atop the leaderboard. Team Toba has a chance to lock up the #1 seed. Marie-France Larouche has picked up steam at the perfect time. Quebec has been red hot in Red Deer, reeling off 5 wins in a row. Now the 1-2 game is a distinct possibility for La Belle Provence. With the playoffs still wide open, draw 16 should be sweet. Manitoba, Quebec, the Scotties is next. So here we go. Who's in, who's out, all to be decided on this final day of round-robin play at the ENMAX Centrium. Today it began with draw 15 and Team Canada. The defending champions, Amber Holland from Crono, Saskatchewan, going up against Carrie Galusha of Yellowknife, and guess what? Galusha did it again. She knocked off the defending champion. 3 of the last 4 years she's been giant killer, and now that puts Team Canada at 4 losses. Meanwhile, Quebec, where have this come from for them? I mean, they were so terrible early in the week. You would never thought they'd be in this position, but here against Ontario, she has her draw weight. She scores 1 and goes on to beat Ontario and eliminate the team from Sudbury. So as we take a look at the scores from this morning, Quebec's a winner. Upset. Team from Yellowknife wins over Team Canada. Alberta, hanging in, beats Newfoundland Labrador. And BC, Kelly Scott, is where you'd expect her to be. So at the top of the table, the first 3. Manitoba, BC, Quebec. They are guaranteed at least a tiebreak. If you're a 4-loss team, Canada or Alberta and New Brunswick, you desperately want to stay there. If you're at 5 losses, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, you must win your games out and then hope that all 3 4-loss teams come back. And those are the only teams still in contention for the playoffs as we say hello, Canada, and welcome again to our continuing coverage of the Scotties from here in Red Deer. Linda and Russ alongside. Look, Manitoba was a favorite coming into this without doubt. Even without Jill Officer. Back in December, remember the Canada Cup in Cranbrook? Well, Manitoba won that one, Jennifer Jones, and so she qualified for the curling trials in Winnipeg in a couple of years. So this Manitoba team with Jill Officer back is even better.
Oh, they are even better. It's amazing. Just 3 months after having a baby, Jill Officer's back as the #1 second shooting percentage and plus-minus. Well, of course, execution, that's an important part for Jennifer Jones. She calls it a demanding style of play. She needs Jill sometimes to bail her out, and she can do it with those great numbers. But, you know, it's also a comfort. Longtime teammates, it's great to have her back.
When you talk about Quebec, Russ, look, and I said they were terrible. They were not very consistent. No one would have expected that they would be in this situation. But Tuesday night, the evening draw against Team Canada, something happened.
Something clicked, no kidding, Vic. 3 losses early. You're going out to play Team Canada. In the 8th end, Marie-France, the skip, is curling less than 50% against Team Canada. Pulls a rabbit out of the curling bag, gets her draw weight, makes a couple really good finesse shots, wins that game. Now they've won 5 in a row, and they're more confident than anybody here.
Absolutely. So they've guaranteed themselves at least a tiebreaker. That's our featured game on this final day of round-robin play here in Red Deer.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere. The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. By Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
So here are all the games Thursday afternoon. Final day round robin. Our feature game is on sheet A. For Saskatchewan, must win. On sheet C, New Brunswick at 4 losses. You want to win your game because you want control. You can't afford to lose. And on sheet D, it will be a must-win for Nova Scotia against Newfoundland and Labrador. So it is Manitoba, Quebec. Is this a preview of a possible 1-2 game, maybe even the final? Just maybe. They're among the leaders. Let's meet the teams now. It's brought to you by Ford. Drive one.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Jones, skip from Team Manitoba. Our lead is Dawn Askin, our second is Jill Officer, third is Caitlin Laws, and we curl out of the St. Mattel Curling Club in Winnipeg.
I'm Marie-France Larouche from Team Quebec. My lead is Anne-Marie Fito. My second is Amélie Blais. My third is Brenda Nichols. And we curl out of HMN Curling Club.
Manitoba will play the Redstones. They won the draw to the button, so they will have the last drop. They'll have the hammer here in this first. As Marie-France Larouche has moved out to put the brush down for her lead, Anne-Marie Filto.
We've talked about the turnaround by this Quebec team, but the thing that we've also talked about is the great attitude and determination. So yes, their execution improved, the confidence came back, but even in those losses, they never quit trying, and you have to love that about them.
The amazing part for me was the game against Team Canada. The 3 losses already, and the whole team struggled, especially the skipper, Marie-France, could not buy a shot. And to hang in there, as you said, Linda, and come back and somehow win that game. And that perseverance has certainly paid off now.
So they're likely to be cautious here in this first. Cautious, Linda, without last rock. Quebec, I'm speaking of. And then be more aggressive with the hammer.
It certainly is something you have to think about when you play Jennifer Jones. We know that they're a great team. We've talked about execution, and I've also said they're very demanding in their approach. So the plans for both teams have to be very clearly thought out.
Okay, that leads us to the game plan. It's brought to you by World Financial Group, your dreams and our strategies.
We're pretty sure that Jennifer Jones isn't going to change, and I don't think she should. Stay aggressive. Quebec has had trouble in the first half of the game scoring. So for Quebec, without hammer, don't get too complicated. And even with hammer, leave yourself room for deuces. It's hard to beat Jennifer Jones in the come-around game when you talk about center guards and a lot of draws. So you have to leave yourself some room.
So Russ, in goes Quebec with their first. Manitoba, Jennifer Jones throws up the corner, and now they're trying to cover.
I think you're going to see a little bit of defensive play without hammer in this situation, Quebec. That's what they're going to want to do against this powerful Manitoba team. And then I think they're going to take their chances with hammer.
I said to you, Linda, when we were coming in, I said, is it possible, because everyone is asking the same thing of Marie-France and this Quebec team. Why? What happened? As you know, Russ said, a light went on. They turned the switch, and she said, nothing happened. It's clicked. And I said, but why? She says, I don't know. Is that fair? Is she being honest when she says that?
Well, I think what happens is it's a change in a mental skill, and that's confidence. You're struggling a little bit with execution, and the first thing that happens at this event when you're playing so many good teams is you do lose a little bit of confidence. You stop trusting your ice reading and your ability to make shots, and everything starts to slide. Against Team Canada, what did happen, as I mentioned, is they were very determined and kept it close. You keep it close, you give yourself a chance. And then what did happen is Marie-France Larouche made a couple of shots, and that confidence was boosted. There were actually takeouts in that game. And then the next game, we saw the draw weight come back. Everything started to change.
Exactly. You're absolutely right, Lynn. Their draw weight's been spectacular, and I think the whole team feeds on that. When your skipper's hot, it gives you so much more confidence.
Amélie Blais goes around.
It's like an indent.
I think I like that. Run the red. Firm.
It's a nice job by Quebec of keeping that stone high in the house. This run back can do some damage, but at least we're talking about top 12 rocks rather than ones on the button.
And here we go with one of the best in the women's game at doing just that.
Whoa!
Jill Officer.
Clean, yeah. Hard, whoa! Oh, sorry, Jill. That's good. Hard, Jen, hard.
And
Sorry, Jilly, that's
both
good.
out the back. Leaves the shooter there, though. So there are 3 rocks in front.
It's quite the setup for Manitoba. You've got arguably the best lead I've seen in a long, long time in the women's game. And Dawn Askin's making those finesse shots. They usually work. If they don't work, as in this case, you've got Jill Officer playing her specialty, the high hard one, and bailing the team out.
So right away, we've already said that if we were, Quebec would be a little cautious without Hammer. They're having a little trouble right now because the rocks got in there. Hard to do much about them at this stage. But you're going to have to really watch that bailout point if you're Quebec. If something starts to go wrong, you have to look for an out.
There's a great example of that, Linda, isn't it? Quebec had 2 buried 1 shot ago, and if this is made, there's nothing in the rings for Quebec and 3 dangerous red rocks out in front.
Jill Officer did it with her first. And will not do it with her second. Unable to hold the line. Dawn Askin and Caitlin Laws on the brush.
Okay. Time.
And this is why it's hard to defend against Jennifer Jones, because she's not afraid to put up that corner first of all, and not afraid to try these run backs to get some room to move. So Brenda Nichols has to get this guard in the right spot. She is playing very well this week, so you expect it will be. But any little position off the rock that is in the house, there are guards to roll behind either side for Manitoba. One thing about Brenda, we saw nice numbers for her, but that fact that she's tied for 3rd. But if you talk about that plus minus, how she plays against each opposing 3rd, she is easily number 1. So each time she has a matchup, she wins that matchup.
Yeah, +7. That's amazing.
Caitlin Laws.
And the quiet tap.
At 84%, and you're number 2 as she tries to come through the hole. Officer Askin. No, little rub. Oh, might get it this way. The double wick, and then the shooter rolls underneath. Shot stone, though, is still back edge of the 4.
Okay, Caitlin. I guess that's what she was calling.
It's a lucky break, we have to admit it. But when you have rocks in play, a little wicky-ticky comes along and you'll take it.
Absolutely, and it was close to being a great shot, so it kind of ended up fair.
So now even more trouble for Quebec as they try and hold Manitoba to just a single this end, because there is already one behind cover.
Ideally sink this one right in behind and sit 2 points. They've got to go for speed here. Caught in between. You either leave it higher and guard the shot rock, or you try to get it past that one in the 8-foot. Dangerous situation all of a sudden.
Linda, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Statistically, Caitlin Laws is number 2 at 84. Who's number 1?
Beth Askew. Alberta playing very well despite their record down that notch in the standings, but they've actually had very good numbers.
Beth Askew from Team Alberta, and Heather Nedewin, who are not playing today or this afternoon. They're sitting at 6 and 4. No rub this time. And now they'll roll it away from the center line.
Good shot, Caitlin.
Very nice throw.
Ça accorde pas tant que ça. Ça reste là longtemps. Son gars, il est resté super droit longtemps. Moi, quand j'ai lancé ici, là, ça a été long.
No, you pick it out. You're fine. Sorry, I should have...
Now this looks like a pretty simple shot because you're aiming at this rock and there's quite a bit of space between this rock and that rock there. But because of the curl, and you can see Mary Franz is going to throw a light weight, there's going to be quite a bit of finish, especially with fresh pebble. There's a good chance this could either over curl or wreck on one of these rocks. That's not simple.
No, the option would be to try and come through the hole with the other turn and go around her own rock, and maybe even if she rubbed it, she might leave herself more room with the last. But this is a very hard shot.
Fresh pebble and lots of curl, maximum curl in the first end.
Well, despite the 5 straight wins from Tuesday night, you can see the numbers. Although they've gotten better, Linda, still not very good for Marie-France Larouche.
And it has been a draw percentage that has been the lowest, although better in the last games.
Found the hole.
Perfect speed, great throw.
Taps it back, rolls over, grabs a piece of the 4-foot, sits for shot stone. Remember now that it is Manitoba that does have the last rock here in the first.
But there's the frustration of making the shot, because to make it, as Russ pointed out, it was very difficult with draw weight. A little tap, that rock is basically open for a tap back, and it would be to sit 3.
Last 2 shots have not worked out. Came up a little over curl on the guard and couldn't get it in the rings. This one, you either throw it a little harder and bump that red one back to only sit 1 Manitoba after this, or throw it harder and roll in behind. And they were caught right in between. This is a hit for 3.
Okay, now going back to what you said, Linda, and even what Marie-France has said, we will be less aggressive, more careful, a little more conservative without last rock. They haven't done it, it seems to me, here in this first.
And the key came actually on their second rock at the end, where they put a guard on a rock in the house. Really, against Jennifer, you have to put your first 2 in and hope she doesn't get a roll, and then maybe you have a chance to peel that corner.
Jennifer Jones tied for first.
Surprisingly, Vic, Andrea Kelly of New Brunswick
throwing the 4th stone for the team from New Brunswick. Played the up weight, takes out her own stone at the back, sits 2.
Good, Jen. Shoot. That's good. Shot. Caitlin.
A little more weight, so they didn't have a good read on this as far as getting it without hitting the other red, but got a roll instead.
Okay, sorry, I didn't say it was up until the hog blend. So
You actually get around on the intern side, left side of our sheet, and get to that back rock would be simpler than this one. This was more rewarding if you make it. But you better make it.
Well, the other one looks rewarding to me because you can come to the face of it and negate both of the red stones in the house.
Exactly, and they didn't even look at it, Linda.
No.
Oh.
Coming back down from the hacksaw.
Ouais, je pense que oui, hein.
There you go.
Pourrait même venir dessus, là.
Ouais, moi je pense que oui. Je pense que ça va être plus
Je me
facile.
demandais juste si on est comme trop large, qu'on est dans un plat différent, mais je pense
Well, over on sheet B, we've told you now there are 2 5-loss teams on the ice. Nova Scotia is over on sheet D, and on sheet B, it is Saskatchewan, Michelle Englot and her team from the Tartan Curling Club in Regina. 5 losses, they cannot afford to lose. And even if they win and stay at 5, they're going to need lots of help. But first things first, win the game against the team from Yellowknife. Oh, she got the rub and the roll, and look at that. That's a big break. That will give her 2 in the first.
Well, I guess they heard us, Linda.
It doesn't mean it's an automatic. It's also a newer spot. Had to go wide to get out around the rock at the top 12.
And Marie Filto is on the left. Emily Blais on the right. You can hear Brenda Nichols calling line. We said she had her draw weight. My.
Spectacular, and that's out fresh pebble there. That's wider than they would have thrown in practice. It's a wee bit of a guess. The ice here under Dave Merklinger and Eric Monfort has been fantastic, but there is a bit of doubt in your mind, and that is a perfect throw.
Well, I have enough.
Have an inch? Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it.
Okay. You got it.
That's a temptation of a player who loves to set up the deuces, saw a deuce sitting there for so long and was trying to figure out a way how to still get 2. When you look at that setup, the yellow is mostly buried. She says she could see an inch. It's not worth the chip attempt.
It, you guys.
Not at all. That's not makeable, I don't think.
Feather it.
Yeah. No, I like this one. Let's go.
Jennifer's intern runs pretty straight. That's the other thing, so it's going to it would make it that much tougher. And it's hard to swallow your pride. You think you deserve 2 or 3 here, and that's just not the case anymore. And you have to make this. It's big shot. You either score 1 or steal 1. A 2-point swing on the scoreboard.
good.
Line's good.
A little bit for line. No, room.
All you.
Jennifer Jones.
Off if you're
Another
heavy,
wonderful
good.
Scotties for her.
Line's getting better.
Weight's fine.
Line's
Got
good.
a curl.
Line's great. If weight's good, line's great.
Yeah, weight's good.
Right
To
on the
it,
tee.
almost. To it.
Right on the tee.
Right to
Atta
it.
girl. Nice girl.
Lovely. For the single point, Quebec will have the last rock when we come back. Want to win a 2-year lease on a 2012 Ford Focus S? You can log on to fordhotshots.curling.ca and test your online curling skills. And for every participant at this year's Scotties, they also had a chance to win a lease on this 2012 Ford Focus Titanium by testing their on-ice curling skills. The final, a battle of skips. Newfoundland's Heather Strong against Northwest Territories Yukon's Carrie Galusha. And thanks to shots like this, the hit and stick right to the button, Galusha is your winner, winning a 2-year lease on a 2012 Ford Focus Titanium. Don't forget to log on to fordhotshots.curling.ca for your chance to win. And just like Carrie Galusha, you too could drive away in a brand new Ford. New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island blanked the first end. New Brunswick with the last rock. And of course, if you're Rebecca Atkinson and the team out of the gauge, you're in with 4 losses. You want to desperately stay there. And if you're Nova Scotia, you're at 5 losses. Heather Smith-Dacey from Halifax stole 2 against Heather Strong from St. John. So here again are the standings, and we'll be brief about it. The first 3 are definitely in a tiebreaker. If you're a 4-loss team, Team Canada, Alberta, New Brunswick, you want to stay there because then you lose control of your outcome. And if you happen to be one of the 5-loss teams, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, you must win the rest of your games, stay at 5 losses. And then on top of that, you need all 3 teams ahead of you at 4 losses to fall back. Simple as that. Here on the final day of round-robin play, as the people here at the NMAX Centrium watch along with you our featured game, Manitoba and Quebec. And a wonderful draw again by Marie-France Larouche to close down that end. Manitoba forced to draw for 1, and so here in 2. It's Quebec that has the last rock. They have the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
First thing you want to say is, not a bad start with Canada putting up the guard. I said Marie-France doesn't want to play that come-around game, so she put up the corner guard. But then the nice draw by Don Askin, and I guess we've said that a few times in the last couple of years. And unfortunately for Quebec, their come-around comes up short and leaves it overlapped.
Luckily for Quebec that Jill slips one a little deep here, and a chance to bail out here as early as you can. There's a bit of separation here. You have to get a good half of this to move the red one. Want to just pick your own out.
No. Okay, Emily.
It looks like it just picked up speed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good there now.
Yeah.
Kind of like a high guard.
Okay.
With the 4-rock free guard zone rule, it isn't easy to defend against teams that love to play aggressively, like Jennifer Jones. We've talked about moving that guard around. That's a corner guard, the Yellowstone out in front.
Okay, you got room.
You could put a rock beside the center guard and not come in too early and still have a rock you can use. So I think Marie-France needs to monitor this a little bit and see what will work against Jennifer.
One thing that won't work is going around that center guard against Don Askins. You're going to get burnt doing that.
Hard. Gotta go. Okay.
Did it come enough?
Well, it's guarding any run back of that red, but could certainly peel either one of those. She's going to try the double peel.
No. Push. Roule, Anne-Marie. Good shot.
Well, they didn't have much to cheer about early. The fans and friends and family have made their way from Quebec, but Brian Mudryk, they certainly do now.
Vic, absolutely. Coming in, Marie-France Larouche on a 5-game winning streak, and I asked her, when did things finally turn for you? She said, no question, that game against Team Canada, where she came back and won it in an extra end. She said, finally, she got control of her draw weight, was very happy with it, and as a result, a lot more comfortable with a lot of rocks in play. I think we saw that for sure in the first end. Also, she returns here. 2004, remember, lost in the final to Colleen Jones. I said, was that a tough experience? She said, yes, but I learned something. She remembers specifically 9th end a shot she had to make. Heart rate was too high. She threw it, and she says, if I get that chance again, I'll take a deep breath, compose myself, and then make the shot. And so far, as we've seen, 5 wins in a row, she's playing outstanding. Vic?
Much like me, every time I'm in the booth with Linda and Russ, I take a deep breath.
I thought you were going to say you get better and better because of us.
I take a deep breath and go, oh my, here we go again. How frustrating is it? You've got the last rock here. You're both former skips. To be in this situation where you are chasing, you can't put your game plan into practice at this moment.
Well, it's frustrating. You're used to it. It happens. Sometimes it's frustrating when the skip doesn't make shots for the rest of the team. But in this case, it's just that one little slip up. We talk a lot about how important the leads are, and I don't think a lot of people believe us. But just because Dawn put it in the right spot twice, and then Quebec angle froze, came up about 6 feet light on that come around, they've been chasing this entire end. And I think that's the frustrating part. It doesn't take 4 or 5 mistakes to put the skip into trouble anymore. It's just one.
And as I said, it's now the responsibility of Marie-France to decide if the tactics she chose and gave to her team are going to be maintained, because you have to decide. You can't be stubborn about it. If I'm not going to be able to get the execution from my team, I don't want to spend an end bailing like this. I'm going to have to change it up.
Just clean. Great shots, Caitlin. Very nice. Good. Perfect.
Good.
Whew.
Higher.
Well, you saw by the player numbers that Jennifer Jones was tied for #1 as a skip, or 4th rock thrower in this case, and that's who we're watching right now on sheet C. New Brunswick's Andrea Kelly, who no longer skips the team from Oromocto. It is skipped by Rebecca Atkinson. At 4 losses, they blanked the first, and it does sit in time. New Brunswick will pick up 2 against PEI. All important, again, if you're one of those 4-loss teams, to stay there. Because if you fall to 5, then you need help. You control your own fortunes if you can stay at 4 losses.
Okay, allez-y. Yep.
Yep, line's good.
Yes, la ligne est belle. Just
Switch, si vous pouvez.
Yep.
Yep.
Freeze it.
Oh, no bounce.
Nice shot.
Yeah, even to the nose is okay.
And you can see the problem now. It's nice for Brenda. She did exactly what she was asked to do. That's an angle freeze on shot rock. But because we're so late in the end, the question is, are you ever going to get a chance to make a move on that to get rid of shot rock?
Yeah, you only have 2 tries left, and Jennifer's going to try to take this one away from her by throwing a tight guard in there, maybe angle freeze.
2 inches. So if we've got line and we can get to the nose and tap it so it unlocks it, but just sweep for the freeze, I think it looks yesterday morning.
Yeah, I think it's all good here. Close,
yeah.
You should take a look at that. That yellow stone on the left-hand side.
Okay, let's go.
That comes into play if you want to draw down that side.
Excellent point, and that was self-inflicted. You could have had that corner guard a little wider. We talk about that a lot. With this much curl, there really isn't a lane for Quebec on that in-turn side.
Wider or tighter to the house. You have to move those around and make sure you have plans for the latter part of the end.
While we watch Jennifer Jones, let's also watch Heather Strong, the Newfoundland Labrador champion from the Valley Haley Country Club in St. John's. Gave up a steal of 2 to Nova Scotia. And Heather Smith-Dacey out of CFB Halifax. Dacey, again, one of those teams that's at 5 losses. The 2 teams, Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia, must win and then needs lots of help. Nice 2 there for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Qu'est-ce qui peut être dangereux, en fait?
Bon, pas grand-chose. Elle va partir. Elle va partir. Peut-être ce rouge-là, elle va rester. Là,
Mais si je touche à la jaune avec elle, c'est sûr que elle n'arrivera pas par ici. Là. Ça peut.
They're looking at, angling the yellow in, trying to see if they would actually catch their own if they did it. That could be dangerous.
Okay.
Saskatchewan opened with 2.
Un peu moins qu'à moitié.
And now here she is, the giant killer. Carrie Galusha from Yellowknife. Earlier today beat Team Canada, the defending champions, Amber Holland, to hand Team Canada a 4th loss. And now, if she can win here against Saskatchewan, it would take Michelle Englot from Regina right out of the playoffs. Englot needing to win. Draw for 2, and it will slip too far. 1 yellow it is. Saskatchewan has the lead there.
non, je vais, ben, si ça ne dérange pas, je vais essayer.
Non, pas du tout.
Je vais aller vérifier l'angle.
On ne sait pas dit quel weight on jouait, mais je vais y aller. Je n'irai pas fort, là.
OK, tu vois.
Je vais y aller, genre, entre acte et bumper.
OK.
Parce que si je vais plus fort puis que je tique la mienne, c'est pas terrible. Là.
OK. Ça va-tu finir en fou, ça?
Je pense pas.
OK.
They're going to give it a try, and it's could be rewarding, could be disastrous. So you have to be awfully careful to run it in and actually hit it towards your own, because that could spill that out and sit 3 Manitoba stones here. So I think a little softer weight's going to be required here, and that's a smart move. So you just come in here with soft weight, even if it ends up here somewhere, moves one of these around a little bit, opens it up. It gives you a chance with your last one. I don't think they're going to run it in with takeout weight, Linda.
I think they said bumper at first. Then I think they were looking to see if it ever get through that hole. And now I think they're back to bumper.
Si je reste en avant, c'est pas mauvais.
OK, let's go.
They also looked at the 2 reds in the middle. They could move those around too and create some options. You'd love to leave yourself 2 shots.
Yep,
Here's part of the problem so far for Quebec. They have not scored well in the first 5 ends. They're in trouble here. Last in scoring the first half of the game. Second best in the second half of the game.
They're going to play through the hole instead of the angle tap.
They are.
They sliver this guard. They get a chance.
Oh, what a lovely shot.
Okay, so what do those numbers tell you about? I know it's 12 and second, but what does it mean?
Okay, so for Quebec, they have struggled in the first half of the game. Now, at the beginning of the week, they weren't playing that well, Vic, and so, yes, they were having trouble getting going. I guess 2 things about the second half. Even in the struggles in the second half of the game, they elevated their game a little bit, poured it on, got more points. In some cases, weren't able to close it out. In the last 5 wins, they've still been successful at doing that. You think of Team Canada, the big comeback. Saskatchewan, a big end late. So it's good that they were able to hang in games, even though the first half wasn't good. But you're now playing Jennifer Jones, Vic. You can't give up big points in the first half of the game in this case.
Yeah.
We got that.
Yeah.
But I think we'd only nut that.
I'd rather play that at the
Yeah.
end.
I think, I mean, it would be great to block both, but it's pretty
Just a
hard.
little past that.
Yeah. It's pretty hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think that's enough? I'm just afraid I don't want to take much more and then it...
No, I know. I think that's fine. We were taking here if it draw the button.
Okay.
Jennifer's trying to block the shot that was just beautiful shot that was just thrown by Marie Franz, because there's an angle tap there for 3 at the moment.
Okay.
You did?
What'd you get on hers?
I got a 14-20. Yeah.
Okay. Draw to the button then, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that in the ice font? Thanks.
You can see that angle run in now would be made much easier, less risk. And so Jennifer's trying to block both types of shot.
That's going to be difficult to block the angle raise, which is a tough shot, and then to block the angle tap.
Might need to rub off the red in the top of the house.
Halfway.
Blocking the tap for sure.
Yeah, early. Hard. Hard early. Halfway. Hard. Okay, over that. Over that.
This is a long one.
Halfway. Whoa. It's got to stay. Whoa. Not quite halfway. No. Whoa. Whoa. Joe. Oh, wait.
Take it away.
Not bad.
Yeah, there's really, they took away the angle tap, the soft weight of it. Marie throwing the exact same shot she just threw with a hair more weight. She could tap it for 3. That's no longer there, so there really is only one option. Run that yellow in, and she lined it up with her first one. The red could go, and you could actually, if it's made perfect, sit 3. Two nice setup shots if this works, but it's pretty high degree difficulty, and it's a chance to steal also.
On the other side, could you play the red on the yellow on the red? Or is that not
Can't quite see enough of it, Vic.
Okay.
Not quite.
Final stone here in this second. Right now it is a stolen point for Manitoba, sitting top of the button. Got it outside, and it won't come back. Oh, maybe this way. No. One it is. Steal of 1 for Manitoba. Here in 2. 2-0 for Jennifer Jones. It's the final day, round-robin play of this year's 2012 Scotties, the Tournament of Hearts. Canadian Women's Curling Championship from the NMAX Centrium here in Red Deer. Manitoba opened with the hammer. The last rock they scored a single, stole another one in 2. And so they have the early lead. Both these teams are playoff bound, at least tiebreaker bound right now. And here in the third, it was Quebec again with the last rock, playing the yellow stone. So you see that stone center line, top 4. That was thrown by Manitoba lead Dawn Askin. Then a wide, long corner put up by Anne-Marie Filteau.
This is another great example, though. It's fine to leave that rock in the house if you're a Marie-France Larouche and you want to try and generate your deuce. But the guard has to be really useful. And that guard that was thrown as a corner is really wide, yes, but really long and almost doesn't guard anything.
One's not that big a deal, but it is on this type of ice. It's a massive deal.
It is huge. That's why sometimes as a skip, if I think my team is struggling, I will go out and actually give them a visual cue, tap the spot, show them a range, show how important it is that it be tight to the rings or wherever it is you need it to be. Really give them a definite point of focus for the shot. And to get this by and play the freeze.
Bien brossé. C'est bon, Nari.
So how dramatic has it the turnaround been for Quebec? Well, just look. You know, they just were playing 50-50. They beat the team from Yellowknife. And then that win over Team Canada Tuesday night really was what everybody points to, and even Marie-France Larouche admits, was the turning point of their week. And now with a win here, they will guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. A loss, and then they'd fall into that mishmash of tiebreaker.
Got no line for the freeze yet. Just tight. Okay, you can go then. Line's getting
So
better.
here the problem occurs again, and I'm not trying to hammer Quebec, but this is how they get into trouble in the starts of their games. You've got Manitoba now trying to get a little angle on this Yellowstone.
Great shooting, Jill. Great brushing, guys.
And you're really losing room.
I don't think it's sliding in nice.
Now, as for Manitoba, well, they just have been the most consistent team here, losing to Alberta and Heather Nedewin. They lost in the rematch of last year's final to Amber Holland, but have really, for the most part, looked pretty good. If there's been a question mark, Linda, at times it has been about Jennifer.
Against BC, they actually stole the win. They went extra in against Saskatchewan, and it was a few mistakes by Jennifer, that's for sure.
Or we peel that. I think I like there.
Yeah. This is my gut too.
4 feet.
Yeah. Got it. Try not to jump it too, right? Yeah.
New Brunswick with a 2-0 lead on Prince Edward Island. New Brunswick and Rebecca Atkinson at 4 losses, wanting to stay there. PEI, Kim Dolan. This will be her final Canadian Women's Championship, saying that she and her lead, Nancy Cameron, will retire from the game. And this is a draw for 2.
Yeah! Hard! Gotta go. Nice spot, Jill. That's good.
Shoot, I almost lost that. Sorry, guys.
And she'll play to the backing, and that will be for 2 to even it.
Sorry, Becky.
So Marie-France Larouche did the right thing to try and open it up, but Jennifer is just going to keep coming at you, and she puts the guard back. So it's another peel attempt by Quebec.
And as you said, once Quebec made that decision to go around the center guard, it shrunk that scoring area. Jill made a nice corner freeze, and it's just been claustrophobic ever since. That's a good shot there, opens it up.
Almost don't mind that.
Yeah. Sure.
Other than that, we just play that tap, but I think I like that. You?
No, I think.
Peel. Quarter rock.
It's virtually the same situation Quebec had in the first end. They had one in, they decided to tap it or guard it, and left the enemy rocks out there, and they were burnt for a 2-ender. Jennifer's done the exact opposite. She's saying, I recognize there's dangerous rocks out there, even though I have one in the ring. Oh, great throw.
Caitlin Laws gets both guards and spins the shooter in. Manitoba sitting 2 without last draw.
It's one of the reasons this is such a solid team, because both Caitlin and Jill bring that upweight ability, and you're not just talking about peels. You actually line up the double peel and the ricochet. It's not a fluke. It actually is a plan, because this team has that skill set.
And here we are now, farther into the end. The only real chance for Quebec is that corner guard, and because the corner guard wasn't perfect, it's going to be really difficult to create a miss.
Non, on roule pas. Ah, bonne shot, Brenda.
Oui, t'étais-tu correct?
Oui, t'es parfait.
Well, you can just barely see there's a red stone behind the yellow. That is the shot stone. That belongs to Saskatchewan, up 2-1. On the team from the Northwest Territories, Yukon, Kerry Galusha from Yellowknife, and this is Michelle Englot out of the Tartan Club in Regina. Again, 5 losses. Desperate to stay there. Needs to finish her week 6 and 5, and then still needs an awful lot of help.
Should be okay.
That'll give her 2 more, 4-1.
Okay. 2 red. Okay, yeah, my fault. What did you do? -. I got 10-12. Okay.
So we'll see if that corner guard is useful.
On fera pas shot si on vient là, puis le garde est tellement loin que c'est sûr que n'importe où elle va être capable de nous enlever.
Bon, ben, c'est
ça.
I think the concern is exactly what I'm talking about. Even if you bury to get shot rock, the rock will be open.
Tu veux aller juste
So
là?
she's trying to hit and roll to a position, so she removes shot rock so that a rock just partly in the 12-foot still can work for her.
And it's tough to teach that, isn't it, Linda? After the game's over, you know, your lead looks at the stats, and that's probably a 4 out of 4, and thinks you've done a good job. But Marie Franz isn't even going to want to use it right now. She's decided to play the hit.
Push! No. No.
Ooh, this is close, though.
Oh, yep.
Very nice.
They were so casual about it.
Yeah.
I don't think they realized that it was going to slow down quite a bit in the house with the roll.
Well, we talked about the long guard, but there is a red one at the back as a catcher, and Jennifer has to be careful now.
Brings a big smile to the face of Brenda Nichols.
Okay.
Bumper will try to stick in the forefoot.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Jen.
Bumper, Jill, you want to try to stick in the fourth can, but
Okay.
try to roll it over. I think this should move. You guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
good.
curled. Yeah, it's pretty fresh.
There's the confirmation they're not positive what this does.
It's a little up right now,
Oh,
Jill.
no.
Clean. It's a little heavy. Hold in.
Off.
Jennifer Jones thinking out of her
Right
hand.
off.
It was a little hot and nothing yet from asking her officer.
Sorry, guys.
And this may be all on its own.
Okay, Jay.
And she'll go all the way through.
10?
That was nothing to do with the
I'm not
rock
sure.
position. That was open enough to
Wasn't
hit.
like-
That was just
sorry.
not knowing the
10.5
ice, and that flare that Jennifer has with her out turn,
Sorry.
it's just very unforgiving. It was never
10.6.
coming back.
And I put it back.
OK, égal
But
alors.
she slid a little left. We've seen that before, and then we've all done it. You have to redirect and bring it back a bit. And any outward motion with these type of rocks on anything more than draw weight, you can get burned. It'll track back on you, and that she'd love that one back.
They're going to try to hide another one or go to split the rings?
They're going open side, Dick.
Okay.
Je l'ai retenu. 6. Je pense qu'il en
When you
manque.
play a team like Jennifer, you don't want
Alive,
to give up
Steve,
chances
that's
for
correct.
deuces because they don't come along all that often. So
Come on,
you
les
could try and
filles.
tuck another, but I think
Yes,
this is a smart move.
Yes!
Yes, on lâche pas. On lâche pas. Go, 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 go.
Very nice. Again, Filto and Blay with the brush, trying to even them up.
Peel might with 3/4.
Yeah, it's kind of like that one.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I will try.
Nice brushing. They didn't get it quite even, and that gives Jennifer the little glimmer of
Yeah,
hope that
3/4
she can
is
make
good.
this.
So, Russ, in a case like that, if you're the front end now, I realize that, they're brushing it to get it to the house because they think you're light. Are you better, in fact, to try and let it die a little bit, just nibble at the
Peel.
top? Because they've brushed it, obviously, and then they can't even it up.
Yeah, well, good point. Sometimes it is. In this case, I think a foot lighter would have given Jennifer a better chance. But sometimes you're right. It gives you such a thin double by leaving it higher as opposed to deeper. But in this case, they had to get it as deep as they could. Now, Jennifer will throw the in turn, which gives you a bit of a gear effect when this hits. It'll spin a bit. When it spins, it'll give you more speed as it rolls.
Final stone, she flashed with her first one. What she got here, thin, and at the back it'll jam. It'll be a draw for 2 for Quebec to tie it here in the third.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
Didn't throw
good.
that one very well.
All right, Linda, the game plan
OK,
here
j'aurais pas la même ligne.
for
puis-
Quebec. Make this your tide. Should Marie-France
Mais
be
c'est
happy?
pareil partout, fait que c'est pas inquiétant.
Definitely. They've had a struggle to get to this place. Got a little lucky this end. They got things opened up and did get the big mistake. So, yeah, grab this and keep running with it.
Là, vous autres,
Je pense que oui, moi.
Eight foot is what they're looking for a couple of points.
Bon, les filles. C'est bon.
Quebec will get their deuce here in the third. Taking advantage of a missed first shot of Jennifer Jones. You're always looking for something that might turn not only an end, but maybe a game around. Slow start for Quebec, but Brenda Nichols with a key shot here.
Well, they have to try and maneuver around a guard that's really way over there, so they have to remove a rock just on the 12, but you need a huge roll. And look at this. They're not even really sure it's going to be in the perfect spot. It lands in a great spot because Jennifer Jones doesn't really know the ice, and that sets up the deuce.
It is the Scotties. The 31st edition and our featured game on this Thursday afternoon. Draw 16, Manitoba and Quebec. 2 on the board in the third. And so here in Ford's Manitoba, that does have the last rock playing the Redstones.
Oh, là est large, ouais. Non, non, on cachera.
Just hack. Yeah. Go then. Yeah. Go then.
Enough room to tap it instead of playing the freeze, and it opens up the scoring area.
Weight's good, I think. Whoa!
His spot ran pretty straight the other night on the sheet. You gotta be careful here.
No, 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 no. Have a girl. Nice shot, John.
Perfect weight. So many players, you ask for hack weight and they knock the rock to the boards and think it's hack weight. Hack weight is exactly that. If you flashed it, the rock goes to the hack, and you have to really be careful to give your skipper the exact right speed.
Yep, yep.
Hack.
Hein?
Hack.
Wow, wow, wow! Ça a l'air fort. C'est fort. Non, non, parce que je... C'était...
You got it, Jill.
Rock rolled out a little wider, so change of turn, trying to roll to the center line area.
Maybe a little
Whoa!
up. Whoa. Not bad.
No, right off, right off.
Clean it. Little
No.
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa!
Can roll behind the center or the corner.
Maybe big zone? No. Oh, boy. Okay, Jill. Here you go.
And the shooter will spill out the back.
All about boundaries.
First time really to apply some pressure with that rock rolling out. A chance for Amélie to draw around the center guard. The only no-no is deep. Top 8, you're really starting to get the play back to where you want it to be.
Yep! Yes! Ah, elle est partie. Yes, 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 on essaye. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. OK, wow, wow, wow.
Come on, Amélie.
C'est bon, Amélie.
The worst part about the deep in most cases is it usually over curls, like you just witnessed. And as you play these ice for the amount of curl, if you put it in front of the tee line, that extra 4 feet of speed allows it to curl wide open.
Or we draw around. I don't mind hitting. I don't mind. What do you like?
I think she's just talking about splitting it, no? Or hitting and rolling.
Go
Okay.
here. Yeah, hitting and rolling to the corner. 9.5. Yep.
Back to the timing of when you make moves. There's still lots of room to get around that guard and sit shot rock, but Jennifer doesn't want to get trapped into the Cameroon game if she's not prepared in that position either. And with Jill, often the shot goes back to a hit. Caitlin, she might draw.
No roll.
Trying to stick for a corner.
Quite a bit less.
Yeah.
Okay, Jill.
It's fine.
On peut faire ça.
That's fine, Jill.
Change of tactics here. Looking like they aren't going to steal. It's a dangerous rock to guard. It's behind the tee line. They might just run up and peel off the corner.
On va faire les tin rolls si on fait ça, hein?
Stopping Jones from a potential two.
I guarantee you that Jennifer didn't expect them to do this. I think with her peel, she was trying to stick for a corner, granted, but I really thought she would be prepared to go along with Marie-France playing a draw.
C'est mieux ça? 8 pieds.
Looking at shots that your opposition wants, I think Jennifer would rather that they stick to draws, so she'll probably be happy, although Brenda can make this top 8.
La ligne est belle. 8 pieds. 8 pieds. Pas plus que 8. À la fort, là.
5.
Non, 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 non. Elle est parfaite. Non.
Higher the better.
Yep, yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Very nice.
Easy.
You have half? A quarter? 3/4? A quarter. 1/4. I think he just half weight or back line. Okay. What do you like?
Sneaking a look at New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island in a 2-2 tie in that Yellowstone T-line, edge of the button. That belongs to the team from the Charlottetown Curling Club, skipped by Kim Dolan. New Brunswick, again, in that 4-loss situation. Would love to stay there, keep control of their fortunes at this year's Scotties. Final rock on the way from Andrea Kelly. Throwing the 4th stone. Boy, look at that. Just bumped it enough. One red it is. If you haven't been with us, that's the change for New Brunswick with Rebecca Atkinson. Becky Atkinson throwing the, skipping the team. But it is Andrea Kelly still throwing the 4th stone, and she's relishing that fact that she doesn't have to do the skipping and concentrating just more on the 4th stone. Now we'll go right over to Saskatchewan, up 4-1. And they do have the last rock, and they are sitting 1-2. Question whether, in fact, Carrie Galusha with her last from Yellowknife can draw there and sit for shot stone in the pocket.
Unfortunately for Carrie Galusha, she's played catch this one. 2 hits went right by everything, and that's why it got so crowded in that button area.
Go, 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 go.
And good for her. There was the catching mitt, a red catching mitt of Saskatchewan.
Just had to get off this last shot of the Quebec Vice. They wanted the high side of it, curled out of her hand, and they kept trying to save it, save it, save it. If they let it curl a little more, they would have not jammed that red Manitoba stone, and now chance to sit too.
Whoa! Yeah, just clean, just clean. Just, yep. A little bit, a little bit. Atta girl, Caitlin. Great pair. Yeah.
Good. I didn't want to overthrow that.
I guess you do have to be prepared, though, if you're playing around a corner when the opposition has its hammer. You have to be more precise. So every shot after that, knowing that Jennifer likes to keep rocks in play, will play some taps, leave some rocks that can be jammed. You have to be very precise with all your shots after that call.
Mais comme ça, je pense.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Je vais aller light quand même.
I don't know why, but nice shot.
Yeah, 2 good shots by Caitlin. That little soft tap, that half-berry rock rolled right to the perfect spot and created the jam.
On roule en arrière du corner guard.
Parfait.
On peut rouler aussi free ici si on la pogne trop mince. Là. Just light.
Let's go.
Ouais.
Marie-France Larouche in her first. And she'll just sit there, top edge of the 8.
Tu l'avais-tu, Amélie, mon weight?
Newfoundland Labrador cracks a 3 in the 4th, now leading 5-3 over Nova Scotia and Heather Smith-Dacey from CFB Halifax, and last year's bronze medalist, struggling this week, must win, and then needs lots of help.
I think we just do the nose. If I don't make the roll and give her a double, that would be good. I'll try to throw what Caitlin threw. I won't overthrow it. I think you guys can hold it. It's a little bit straighter.
Okay.
More like 10.
A little more.
Yep. Clean.
Still good, though.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Easy, clean. Easy. Easy. Nice shot.
Hi, girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice weight, though.
Good weight.
That's really straight. That's unbelievable.
practice throw. They held that the whole.
I can't believe how straight that is.
Yeah.
That's curling probably about I'd say almost 6 inches less than normal.
Okay, so there's any reason for that? What she's talking about, the fact that it may be a little straighter today?
Yeah, well, it very well could be, and then that's why they're a top team. They're communicating, and sometimes I find teams only communicate when they miss. It's like, well, geez, that ran straight. Oh, that was faster than I thought. But Jennifer made a good shot there and still relayed the information down. And, outside in has been straight most of the week, so I'm not sure. She's saying 5 or 6 inches straighter. I don't remember it bending in that spot a lot. Period.
Well, you do have to remember that the ice gets scraped after every draw, and they're on a different sheet, and this is on the stand side. There's a lot of factors why things might be a little bit different from the last game you played, so good to prepare yourself and adjust.
Final stone here in for Marie-France Larouche. Now rolling it over.
Overswept it.
And it will spin too far.
Nice try.
I'm not sure if they were trying a double, and that's why they were going so thin, but I, in those cases, prefer the hit and roll. I think it gives you a lot more room to work when it's that much distance between them. It's a little easier to call. It looked to me like maybe they were trying to come near that red one, but the roll would have been there, a little less brushing.
So Quebec gets 2 in the third, and right now in danger of giving the 2 right back.
Maybe the hair at the end.
Yeah, easy, Dawn, easy. It's all you. Easy.
Curling.
Line's great.
No, it's not.
Not really moving. It's trying now. Coming down now. Put it on the tee.
And on the button.
Yeah. Nice shot, Jen. Good
Got
judge,
4
guys.
even.
Yeah.
2 it is for Manitoba. 2 it is for Jennifer Jones.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
Nice shooting, Caitlin.
Yeah,
nice little hair there.
You know, come to think of it, Billy Crystal would be right at home at Heritage Ranch. The star of City Slickers tweets today that he can't get into the theater because they've shut it down to build an octagon, just in case they can't decide who has the winning Oscar. So the nominees will fight it out. Crystal returning as the host for the 84th Academy Awards Sunday at 8 on CTV. Well, by that time, we'll have decided a Canadian Women's Curling Championship, because our final is Sunday here in Red Deer. Manitoba gets 2 in the fourth to take a 4-2 lead over Quebec, and it is the team from the Etchemin Curling Club near Quebec City that does have the last rock playing the Yellowstones here in 5.
Just one little mistake last in, but that's all it takes, and that's how the deuce was generated. And Rush, you were pointing out that at the stage where there was one rock in the house belonging to Quebec and a corner guard, they could have peeled. And I guess, in my opinion, as a team, you have to define a victory. In my opinion, you play Jennifer Jones and you're a Quebec team that struggles in the first half of the game. A victory is a blank.
Exactly, and it was one of those ends you weren't going to steal because the rock that Quebec had was behind the tee, well behind the tee line. So they had 2 choices. They could appeal to corner guard and eliminate a possible deuce, or come around the corner guard. They came around the corner guard, and Caitlin made them pay with a beautiful hit and roll. But that's to your point, Linda, the game plan, isn't it? You know, it makes some sense against this powerhouse team from Manitoba to eliminate a few ends, and they had the chance there.
Whoa, whoa, clean. No. Clean.
First one in, perfect spot again by Dawn Aston. Corner guard, center guard comes back by Dawn, but a little room, and look at this nice roll. Very well done.
Nice shot.
This is the spot they've wanted to use in the past. Got that corner guard up on the left. Great brushing, stayed with it to get the roll. Nicely done.
Yes!
able to save it. Terrific rushing, and then look at the roll. Caitlin Laws and Dawn Askin on the stone of Jill Officer.
Kale.
Yeah.
Just so, yeah, I knew, yeah.
Okay.
Good brushing.
Good thing, I guess.
Great throw, great speed, and the ice is so good. That rock was just about dead buried, and you not only get the enemy stone out of the play, but turn it into an aggressive offensive shot, and dead buried again.
And the skipper with a little pat of thanks. Amélie Blais.
Non, elle descend encore. OK, elle sent bien. Non, non, non. Non, non, non.
On est là.
Pas besoin d'aide.
Un shot.
Bon. Bully, fight the fort.
So this is back to the situation we've been describing right from the beginning, how difficult it is to set up a deuce when you're cornered into the button area. That's what Dawn's first rock of every end does. That's what the freeze rather than tap game does. Now that rock was buried and in a beautiful spot, so I'm not saying it's easy to play a tap and free up some space, but that is what happens time after time when teams play Jennifer Jones. They get trapped into that button.
He wrote me a little note halfway through the 2 ends ago, the same situation, and you're exactly right. There's not enough real estate to score 2 points.
Great shot, Jill. Beauty.
All right, Linda, how do you avoid being trapped and getting caught in the snare?
Well, as I said, in the times that you can do it, you try and tap that rock on the button as opposed to just draw to it. If it's so buried and the guard is so good, then you have to watch the next time you play these shots that you put your guard, rather than a corner, into a position closer to center where you can maybe tap it up. Or like Marie-France Larouche, you have to peel as soon as you can, which she is doing.
And there's also an art to the team without Hammer here to force a team. A lot of people, it's an ego thing, but forcing a team to a single is a big victory. And the Jones team's quite good at it. It's a 10-end game. You force the team to 5 singles, you're probably going to win.
Like normal? Good normal, yeah.
Don't forget, all of these ends start with Dawn Askin setting the rock in the right spot and forcing the issue. And I think right down the line, each of these players shows that they're such great specialists. Dawn with those guard draws, the come-arounds, getting the rocks in front of the tee line. Jill this end made the perfect hit and roll. And Caitlin in previous ends has done the job of opening things up, or last end making a nice tap to set it up. So right down the line, Jennifer Jones' team are making the shots to set up these kinds of ends and put the pressure on. But you go to the ice, you have to expect that from them.
Continuing with our updates, 5th end, Newfoundland Labrador, they got that big 3. Heather Strong in the 4th. Nova Scotia now throwing their last. Heather Smith-Dacey. This is a draw against 2. Back button, and there's another Newfoundland Labrador stone, top 12. Uh-oh, it caught something. It caught something. Maybe they can get a rub here. And no, it won't. That is just a bad break for a team that's faced a bunch of bad breaks and a disappointing week. It'll be a steal of 2 for Newfoundland and Labrador in a game that Nova Scotia must win.
We haven't seen many picks like that where they go sideways. It depends what the debris is. If it hits a flat spot in pebble, often you'll see a little jump, but that definitely caught debris.
I've often wondered, Linda, I watched my daughter's season ended on a pick this year and with Kathy Overton, and my son went down 6-1 in the final, so I'm a little with a pick that cost him 3. And you wonder if would it be possible, I'm throwing this out to you, if the hogline officials made the decision on that and determined that was definitely a pick and rethrow.
I guess it could happen in future years.
Yeah, it won't happen this week, but I just wonder, you hate to see that. It was probably a well-thrown rock by Heather.
PEI. Sorry, Russ. We're watching, trailing by 1 to New Brunswick. It appears that Prince Edward Island is sitting one at the back of the 4 foot. And this is a draw in to get in for a second point, possibly.
Be tight to the guard.
Enough for a little bump. No. So it's 1 to tie it going to the break.
Oh, then no, if you got more weight.
No, it's fine.
Okay,
tight.
got a curl. Stay with
And
it.
if I may chime in on your idea.
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you know why? Because I just don't want the officials involved in it. And I'll tell you why. Because then, what's a pick and what isn't?
Well,
That's the
good
thing.
point.
It's subjective as to how the rock did grab something and whether a grab that goes a few inches off versus that one which went sideways, which one do you pick as the one that gets the rethrow?
I mean, think back, Russ, not too long ago, we used to have the hogline officials, right? And how everybody, and all those people did a wonderful job. But how much better everyone thought it was when they got the eye on the hog and the electronics in the handle, and how much simpler it was. It was a definite yes or no. So to bring the officials back in, not to argue with you, I just don't think that would be the way to go.
I hear you.
So I think the one thing you can do is try and make the ice as pure as possible. So the booties, so you don't track in the dirt. Make sure you inspect equipment, that kind of thing. Oh no, stuffed it.
And just to further beat you up here.
Yeah, go ahead, Vic. We've got lots of time.
How many times you say keep a brush down?
Well, for sure.
How do you feel now?
Beaten up, thrown under the bus.
Hang on, let me just put it in reverse.
Yeah, just normal.
Updating Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, Yukon. 4-2. Saskatchewan, like Nova Scotia, over on sheet D at 5 losses and must win. And this is a draw against 1. You see that Yellowstone back button. Michelle Englot needs to stop for her. 1 yellow it is. Just wouldn't come.
Line's great. Anybody
Toppy. Clean it.
For sure, I think right now.
Yeah, we're full late, Caitlin.
Go more even.
Hey, yeah.
Go. Yes. Line. Ball. Yes. Hold.
Jennifer Jones.
Top 4. Hard. That's fine. That's what your first one did.
To sit 3 without last rock here in the 5th and up 4-2.
Sweep it a little bit more, eh?
Go sooner. Get it deeper.
I think it's at least the top part. I thought it was
Yeah, me too.
Needs a big raise here. This is getting a little bit claustrophobic. You might be able to run it back and hit the right-hand rock thin. You might lose your shooter and make the double. You can also hit it right where the broom is. Come across to that side rock buried behind the corner guard. Certainly have to move something soon.
I think she might be seeing if she can come through the hole and make the double. Maybe not. Maybe they're just looking at the angle again.
Ça serait peut-être mieux ça.
C'est peut-être facile qu'essayer de pogner juste ici. Là.
Ben, je pourrais y aller.
Tu pourrais aller direct là.
Et quand même, non, je pense que j'ai plus de chance avec ça là. Puis comme tu dis,
On va
s'il
aller
curle un
comme
petit
ça.
peu.
OK.
I think maybe Brenda was asking if there was a hole, but back to the raise.
You could definitely get at the shot rock, couldn't you, Linda, on the intern side and maybe roll behind the corner.
And there is a hole there on the out turn, but first of all, hard to get through there and hard to hold the shooter and hard to get rid of the 2 reds. So back to the raise.
Which one are you clunking first if you run it back? The redstone.
Well, I'm not sure. It could work either way. You hit the highest one, you might make that double. You hit the lowest one, you make the other double.
We'll find out now. And good enough. It'll push it out the back. Manitoba still sitting 1.
Beautiful curling shot. hits the top one just a shade thinner. Not that we're arguing. This is a beautiful, beautiful shot, but a shade thinner, that would have redirected right onto that red one and actually been buried. But the key thing was they had to get those off the top of the scoring area. They now have a chance to breathe with their next one. Great throw.
De me passer comme message.
It's remarkable. You know, for those first 3.5 days, there weren't many smiles for Quebec, but now winning 5 in a row and in the playoff picture. Reset for Jennifer Jones.
Just through this shot, they know the exact lane, how much it finishes it over, curled a hair, so they're going to take a wee bit more ice.
It's a little less. Line straight.
Top of the 4-foot, dead buried.
Top, wait. Gotta wait. Still out here. Line's good. Gotta wait. Like to go. Okay, you can go. You can go. Top 8, biting forward. Make it good. At the end. Trying now. You gotta finish it if you can. Yep. Hard. Nice shot, Jen. Just a little better, eh? Yeah, just like better. Good, Jen. Got it, girl.
I'd love that a foot or so higher, but it's still a great shot. Anytime you're top of the lid, dead buried, you'll take your chances.
Back 4.
They rushed it to get it buried to make it look uglier from the hack. And it still is on the top of the button.
Si t'es pas back 12, si t'es juste back 4, là.
Oui, mais il faut que je la pousse back 4, fait qu'il faut que je sois au moins back 8.
OK, back 8.
Tu sais, parce que si back 4, je vais la pousser là, ça donnera rien.
Pas plus large, c'est bon. Ça va être bon. Let's go, Marie.
I always like those as high as you can get them because that makes Marie-France, in this case, have to throw it a little harder to move it farther.
Okay, just back 8.
The harder she throws it, the less it curls and makes it a tougher shot. So just any more than back 4, back 8 would be the desired speed here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leading 4-2 and sitting 2 at the moment. Manitoba. Final rock now from Quebec. And Marie-France Larouche here in 5.
Yep. Whoa.
Called off. Filto and play.
No.
She wanted back 8 weight. This overbrushing now. Is this going to hurt them?
No.
They brushed it early. Oh, yes, it will. And it'll spin off. It is a steal of 1.
Je vais jamais aller.
5-2 Manitoba.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? By Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. And by World Financial Group, proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies.
Marie-France Larouche had a chance with her last. Manitoba sitting the 2 as she throws her final stone in 5. One of them covered on the button. And then early, the brushing from Emily Blais and Marie Filto may have straightened this out a little bit. And then they back right off and just it would not come. Rolls off, steal of 1 for Manitoba. They lead 5-2. Was the brushing a problem? Let's find out. And Marie is with Brian.
Marie-France, before the game today, that you said that your draw weight was really coming along. That one was very close in 5, maybe just a little bit of over-brushing.
Yes, because I thought the curls coming early, but no, they straight a little bit. So, yeah, my weight was good, but just a little bit more curl.
I know you have to battle back now in this one, but how much confidence do you have now? I know you told me that game against Team Canada was huge for your confidence. How much confidence do you have now going into this final day at the Scotties?
Oh, we have to have a high confidence because we play well. We just try to be the first around the guard, and maybe we can make some points.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Linda, let's take a look and see if the numbers match your confidence.
Well, it's hard when you play Team Manitoba. You have Dawn Askin at lead and Caitlin Laws at third, both at 93%. And that has brought, of course, the numbers for Manitoba up very high. Great point by Marie-France Larouche. Somehow, Anne-Marie Fielteau at lead has to match Dawn Askin and get around those guards in the right spot.
The numbers after 5 are brought to you by Tim Hortons. It's time for Tim's, and a win by Manitoba will clinch them first place in round robin. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
I know it is. I don't even sweep for rocks. Anywhere in. Laura doesn't know we have hammer here. Can we save something?
Whoops.
And all of it comes to an end today. Round robin play, and for these teams, will they still have a chance in the playoffs? Manitoba at 7-2. And a win here will clinch them first place, the 1-2 game. The teams at 2 and 3 losses, those first 3, are guaranteed at least a tiebreaker. If you're at 4 losses again, you're desperate to stay there because you don't want to drop down, because then you can't control your fortune. If you're Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia at 5, you must win out. You have to finish 6 and 5. And then to get into a tiebreaker, you need Team Canada, Alberta, and New Brunswick all to lose to come back to 5 losses. So it's difficult at best. Steal of 1 for Manitoba in 5. They have a 5-2 lead as we welcome you back to the NMAX Century. Our coverage, final round robin day. And Quebec will have the last rock. They have the hammer here in 6 playing the Yellowstones.
Manitoba with 2 rocks in a come around, and the corner guard, I like the fact that they're moving this around. It's a little closer to the circles, a little closer to center, could be tapped up.
Whoa.
And they have a little benefit here that with Manitoba playing in, you can tap these rocks back.
No.
And to do that, do it with soft weight, 3 points down. You have to save this thrown rock here, and she does. Very nice.
Come on, wait.
Now this is the hard part.
You got
You've got your Yellowstones in a pretty nice spot, but because you bring that corner tight, Jennifer's going to go after the double.
Yeah! Hard!
Jill Officer.
Hard! Whoa! Yep! Hard! Atta girl.
1-2. Wow. Jill Officer, whose curling relationship with Jennifer, of course, goes back to her junior days back in the early 90s. Well, now you have to park it. If you're Heather Smith Dacey, as the psychologists say, your last stone in 5 picked. You gave up a steal of 2 and you thought you may be drawing for 1. 7-3. Final stone now from Heather Smith Dacey, CFB Halifax. And she's trying for the double from one 8-foot side to the other to possibly get 2. Desperate times when you must win, and she'll settle for the single.
What do you like?
I like peeling it.
I think it's peeling it.
Is there a way to just... But you want this?
Yeah, I think so.
If not, you're going right into it. 3/4.
So we're hitting it on that side? Yeah. Sure.
So actually going to cross the face of this. So Jill must like the out turn. Little dangerous if you ever hit it incredibly thin. But, Jennifer's method to her madness is to go the other way. Your shooter will run over and move that beautiful guard at the top of the 12-foot.
Whoa! Clean, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think she's playing it the other way,
So
Ross.
the other way with the intern. With negative ice. Wow.
Great shot.
Look with the ice she turned. I knew she was hitting it in that spot. I thought she was doing it with the other turn of the ice.
That is, we keep commending them. Everybody knows how great a team they are, but that's the thing as a skip. You're standing in the house. You have a whole array of plays you can make because of the skill set of the player. So Jill with the up weight, the rotation, you can throw it with tight ice. Either turn, you can do so much with it. It's fantastic.
Now, we've said before, Russ, this doesn't come by accident. This is the game today at the elite level. These teams are constructed with purpose.
Absolutely, and you know, you want a great hitter with a huge hitting ability, and Jill comes to mind as number one. I still say Don Askins is the best lead in the country, probably the world. You know, because the finesse shots are unbelievable, and the understanding of where to put them and the tolerances, the little differences. And of course, Caitlin's been a wonderful addition also, trying to fill the shoes of Kathy Overton.
Tough one, Caitlin.
Tough one, Kale. Tough one, Kale.
And the announcer's curse.
Probably could use a little less ice too, eh? Nose, maybe. Huh? On those, maybe, go straight to the wing.
Because they can throw the up weight, and I mean up weight, they probably can risk taking a little less ice in those and brushing early. So that's the management of the stones. There's the ice call, the thrower, the release and rotation, and the brushing early versus late that manages that girl. Probably on those they could take a little less ice.
For sure. Tried to roll behind the corner. Now it's too late in the end to take the corner guard off and have the play come into the ring. So Jennifer Jones is going to hit this and hope there isn't a roll behind that corner.
Get it clean. Clean. Yeah. Whoa. Just clean. Go big, Jill. Go big. Whoa, 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 whoa. Try to get the bite the 8 here if you can. That's fine, Caitlin. Good, girl. Good.
11. I'm not overthrowing yet.
Jill. Well,
okay.
11.
Bumper, actually. Yeah. Bump.
Need less ice for you on that out-turn field, Caitlin.
So Jennifer Jones may be taking a little bit of responsibility on the miss.
Thanks, sis. Yeah. Whoa. You bet.
This is a scoreboard call here. 3 points down. Going to be really aggressive. Ignore the shot rock.
Peeking in as well, Russ, over on sheet C, New Brunswick and PEI and Prince Edward Island. This will be the final game for Kim Dolan. She's not going to go quietly, and at the same time trying to hurt the chances of New Brunswick. PEI is sitting 2. Final rock on the way for the team from the Gage Golf and Country Club. This is Andrea Kelly.
There's not a lot of room for Andrea to get into that button. She's trying to wiggle off a rock on the 8-foot.
And trying the in off the stone on the 8-foot slides behind. Steal of 2 for Prince Edward Island.
Get that one? Yeah. 14 is too much weight. Yeah. So it's not normal wing probably, eh? Is this normal?
No, I think just normal, yeah. Like, they didn't really touch it, but...
If we tap it a foot, we're flying 3, so...
Okay, let's go, Jen.
I think this is what makes the team so good, too, is knowing the exact situation of what to do. You can see a little bit of that rock. Some of the teams would throw a little more weight, trying to tap it right out. The lighter weight Jennifer throws, the less chance she has of wrecking on that guard. Meaning she can take enough ice to get by and still have lots of room to curl.
Room. No, Jill. Back in on its own. Off, Jill.
Team from Yellowknife, skipped by Carrie Galusha, sitting 1, trailing by 1. But an opportunity here for Saskatchewan. And Michelle Engloff from the Tartan Curling Club in Regina to pick up a couple in a must-win for her. Roberta Materi, Sarah Slokop, big brush by 1, by 2, no. Tied 4-4.
Faut pas perdre la ligne, hein, Brenda?
Oui, okay.
Perfect throw by Jones, electing not to tap it. Angle froze it in an angle that is virtually impossible to make the double and save your yellow one at the back. So now you have to generate your 2 points with the skip rocks.
Just run. I did not.
It was a nice gradual, but it was still, yeah.
Yes.
Tenez-la un peu,
Yes,
yep.
tenez-la. Et quoi le way, toi? Quoi le way?
Oh. Set. Yeah,
Faut tenir la ligne.
They're calling out 7. That would be a T-line draw.
On over, girl, yes.
The weight sounds all right. No. Getting fooled.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé, là?
Comment ça? Qu'est-ce que ça fait,
Hein?
ça?
Great tights, nice, tough ball.
Think that's too much?
One thing I don't see teams do as much,
Yeah, okay.
maybe is the old stopwatch we talk about so much and the interval timing that's done by brushers. If you're not positive about a spot, Marie-France Larouche was going down the same path as Jennifer Jones. She doesn't throw it exactly the same, but it's the same area that you're drawing. I don't see the brushers walking down and watching the path of the one that is just preceding you. If you know that you're probably going to play that path, maybe even stand halfway, watch it go by, get a good look at the rock before yours, and then use your eyes for the one you're throwing.
You have to read the ice, don't you? And it takes 4 people to do that. And you're right. There's so many teams that as soon as the opponent lets it go, they saunter back to the back and find the rock they want to get in the hack with. And you're missing a lot of valuable information by not watching those shots. Big error there. Had to be at least second shot. Chance to cap this off and make Marie-France's last rock really difficult.
4 feet right now. Line's good. You can tight. Super tight. It's a little bit. Tight. Real tight. No. Yep. Tight. Just tight. Hard. Tight. Real tight. Curl. Whoa. Clean.
Final stone for Manitoba.
Clean.
Needs to sit.
Clean. Whoa.
Needs to sit.
That's good.
We had a great view when Jennifer was throwing at the Quebec front end, and I'm not trying to criticize them as far as their jobs. They do have a job to go and get the ice ready, but you could see that one went back to get the rock, and here you have the second player standing near the hog line, and then she did go back. One of them could stand further down the ice and clean the path back. That's actually, we see that more often with some of the top teams. It gives you a better view from that vantage point a little further down the ice to watch the path. You're not throwing a guard, but you're throwing down the same spot here.
Je vais y aller avec 29,5. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
We watched a similar shot last time for a steal of 1. Marie-France threw beautiful speed, and it just didn't finish.
Now this turn through the hole, the other turn, the out turn seems to me more wide open. Wouldn't you play that?
I think this is a Marie-France can get more curl on her in turn than she can on her out turn because of her release.
Okay, through the hole first.
Oh, whoa.
Now needs to tap it and sit. Needs to tap it and sit, and once again will spin off. So 2 straight ends, the same result. And Manitoba will pick up 1 more here in 6. Well, Kim Dolan will tell you curling has been her life, and we've loved every minute of seeing her on the ice. The PEI skip playing in her 100th career Scotties game today, and this will be her last game. She's already announced that she'll devote more time to her family and the family businesses in and around the Charlottetown area. As you can see, she's third all-time on the list. Her first Scotties was back in 1983. And so we thank Kim for everything, and today trying to go out a winner in her final round robin game and leading presently the team from New Brunswick 5-3 as they play in the 7th. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Me too.
I guess the same thing applies to that shot that we were talking about as far as tap weight goes. I mentioned for the hits, the peels, you can close the broom and brush early. It looks like for the taps, you need to do the same thing. A little bit straighter, and you have to throw it there, but rely on the brushers to hold it rather than waiting for it to curl over. So now it's desperate times when you're down this many points and putting up the 2 corner guards.
Just slides far enough that there's a shot at the double with big weight, and in steps Jill Officer.
Big weight, big rotation. You don't have to take much ice, and you can still line up the double.
No. Yes. Yes. Hard. Hard. Really hard. Hard. Go, go, go.
And the shooter will stay right there.
Great shot just the same. You heard Jennifer going, we didn't quite call it right, but that would have been very difficult to hit it thinner and get everything. And now at least if there is a rock in behind that rock, it is your rock you're promoting.
Amelie is a sales rep for Nautilus Plus.
Fort.
OK, 3, c'est bon. Wow, 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 wow.
Oh. C'est 5, ça? T'avais combien, ce split?
And not quite spilling it in.
Back it up a little. Good.
Very nice shot making, though, cleaning up the front, getting that one very close to the rings and making it hard for Quebec to use the stone out in front. And even the 2 in the house are in such a nice spot. It's going to take a couple of taps to get things organized.
Since the invention of the free guard zone, the lead and second have really had specialized shots, haven't they, Linda? Certainly the second has a lot of those inside-out peel shots. And you know Joel's practiced a ton of those. As you get to the lead position, you play a lot of the soft, controlling the front, anything 8 foot forward. And you see teams practicing those shots, only those shots, because that's what they have to throw.
Right at her, good job, right at her.
Caitlin studies natural sciences. Well, Nova Scotia picked up the single in 6 in this must-win game for Heather Smith-Dacey. And those 2 yellow stones at the back edge of the 4, they belong to Nova Scotia. Final rock on the way from Newfoundland and Labrador's Heather Strong from the Ballyhaley in St. John's. Uh-oh. 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 Came over just enough to get rid of one, steal one. Nova Scotia still fighting to stay alive.
Yes.
Quebec still trying to chip away this end. Made the nice play to sit a yellow one in front of the other red. That means Jennifer Jones had to hit at an angle to avoid the jam. Now there's just one left in the middle, and you do have that red stone to draw around. That same old problem, it didn't curl enough.
There seems to be a hair less curl on those inside-out shots. So obviously, that could have to be a bit deeper, would have helped.
Yeah, the black things. There we go.
Great technique out of Caitlin. Good level shoulders, with boom positions in a good spot.
Hard! Really gotta go, guys! Really gotta go! Okay,
Officer Naskin trying to save it.
That's fine. Good. Good brushing.
It's slippery everywhere except that one spot.
Del? Right on the nose.
Okay. 10 right on the nose. It was.
I thought that was going to track, so I tight iced you.
Ooh.
Oops, sorry.
I thought it was too.
It didn't really curl that much.
No.
Like, it held it.
Fitness! No. Okay. Clean. Fitness.
Push.
No.
Wanted just to chop on top and stay right in front of that shot rock.
I think so.
The nose.
She plays off that one and
makes the roll.
What if we crutch?
Yeah, that's something. What if we kill this one?
Well, Monday, it's the NHL trade deadline, and TSN has you covered with all-day coverage beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Every trade, every deal, everywhere you are. Trade Center 2012 on TSN and TSN Mobile TV.
Yeah. Hard to roll on top. We probably just, I don't want to create a pocket and then she freezes. I guess then we guard. Yeah, maybe a nose or a hair roll, even if we tap it. She freezes the pocket, we guard.
I like that.
I was kind of thinking the out turn. Well, we haven't. This intern should
run.
Should track. Yeah, nothing's curling really. Okay. Yeah, just a 10.
Okay. You got it.
I think we want to probably make a nose or a hair roll your way, Jill.
Manitoba's curling very well, but those ones that Quebec is playing where you're having to roll to exactly the right spots, just a fraction off on the touch, and then rolling too far. Those are tough. Trying to scramble back in this and needing a few breaks, and didn't quite get it there.
I'll throw that.
Now the defensive mode goes to the offense here. Just hang around and keep in front of the tee line.
Well, New Brunswick here is desperate as well, and they've called a timeout. They need to win this. They don't want to drop to 5 losses. You got to stay at 4. At least gives yourself a better chance for a possible tiebreaker. But you can see the yellow stone sitting top of the button belongs to PEI as we watch. Jennifer Jones, they've called a timeout. They were looking at a run back of their red onto that yellow. But if you should ever kill your own, it would be a pile.
Great point, Vic. It'd be
yellow stones in there.
Steal of 6 or so.
What'd you get? 9.
That end started. They had the 4 yellows out in front for PI, and Kim Dolan made a nice tap to the button. Andrea made a beautiful shot to the back of the 4, and then Kim tried to follow down, ticked the guard, ticked another guard, and rolled dead buried frozen. So Andrea's got a tough decision to make there.
Not a lot of room to work here from Marie-France Larouche. She was hoping to use some guards, get something under cover. Now you're having to move a rock top 4, and there's another rock already in the 4-foot by the opponent. So hard to do much here, but she'll try and hit and roll.
Yes, surprise, yes!
Marie-France Larouche in her first.
Yes.
Don't really want to hit it dead on. It'll make the next shot pretty tough.
Probably just a little hair roll, okay? And then she can make the double, probably a nose.
But if she makes the double, this one.
She does that, yeah.
Saskatchewan again in one of those must-win or you're out situations. But the team from Yellowknife keeping the pressure on and is sitting 2. Both of them top 4. Final rock on the way for Michelle Englot.
Leneve had made an in-off to sit 2, but Carrie Galusha is just making a ton of shots.
Earlier today, Galusha beat Team Canada.
Be like an inch roll. It's Dawn's way. She won't have to see.
And 1 yellow it is. Steal of 1.
Nice shot, Michelle.
You wonder where the Territories would be with their record without the sickness.
Their skipper missed several games because of the flu. Final stone, and the decision is made, and they're going to do the run back. If they should pick out their own, what a mess.
Well, they pulled back the weight, Vic.
It's really close.
Got to come across, catch the yellow, move it far enough. No, not quite. Great try, though. PEI will pick up another one, steal one, 6-3.
I'm sure the New Brunswick coach made the adjustment of weight, but that was such a long way for the rock to travel and then move some granite. So close. Jennifer Jones makes the hit. It does roll a little bit, so the button is available, but that's all. And look at the angle you're coming into the house, trying to get past that red stone.
Peu moins, Brenda.
Yeah, that's a small opening when that's at the end of the rock's traveling time. It will really hook hard here. This is no gimme.
Line's good.
A draw against 3, maybe even a biter at the top for 4. And you're trying to stop the bleeding, having given up the last 4 points.
T-line. Yes, 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 yes. Hard. Hard. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, very nice.
Great shot.
Wonderful.
Whoa.
To the button. How good was it? You betcha. It's always a highlight of our curling season, and next year will be very special with the 2013 The Dominion All-Star Curling Skins Game. The game will feature a brand new qualifying format, with you, the fans across the country, picking the curlers that will compete. Now, fans will vote for their favorite Canadian men's curlers by position online at tsn.ca. The top 4 skips will then select the remaining 12 players through a random draw, and we'll have that for you on TSN January 17th of 2013. So go to tsn.ca/skinsgame for more details. She's into the playoffs, or at least a tiebreaker, but she came very close back in 2004. Marie-France Larouche came through the 3-4 game, a win over Lois Fowler of Manitoba. Team Canada, Colleen Jones beat Ontario, Sherry Madaw, and then Quebec beat Madaw 7-6 in the semi. Then in the final, it was Colleen Jones. She came that close. Will she get that close again this year? Marie-France Larouche. Some suggesting she has a wonderful team, and they've shown it the last 5 games, turning around a so-so week to get themselves now into a tie-breaking situation. They trail on the board as we go to 8, 6-3 Manitoba. And for Jennifer Jones and her team, a win would guarantee them first place and a spot in that 1-2 game.
We're to it.
No, then.
We're heavy right now.
It's really moving. Stay with it.
It's top 4.
Bite the 4. You want to be bite the 4.
We are.
No, it's heavy, Joe.
Whoa, whoa,
heavy,
whoa, whoa,
heavy,
whoa.
heavy.
We're right to it. Coming down.
Stop. That a girl.
And so right now we have 3 teams that are guaranteed at least tie-breaking spots: Manitoba, British Columbia, and Quebec. And as mentioned, if Manitoba wins, they will guarantee themselves first place. A Quebec win, they would guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs, no tiebreaker. Team Canada and Alberta are idle right now. Tonight, wins by them would give them at least tiebreakers. If you're at the 5-loss level well, then, of course, you must win, and then you need help. You need teams to lose and come back. And one of those teams, of course, is New Brunswick. And New Brunswick is losing right now. So lots on the line on this final day of round-robin play.
Yeah, I agree.
Quite often when you play a game and you try to put up some front stones, as Quebec is doing, rightly so, has the 2 center guards in place, you think, well, one of these ends will get the opposition lead to have a deep rock, to be wide, to have a stone not go into the right spot, and then we'll make a chance to go around. But look at those 2 red stones one more time.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. The line, the speed. You want them as close to the button as you can get, but you want them in front. That is really good curling by Don Askins.
Amelie Blais, how often or how much did you, in hindsight, when you were at these events and you didn't qualify or you left yourself a game short, how often did you kick yourself and think back? And I'm looking at Quebec, for example. You know, they lost by 1 point to BC in an extra end on the opening day. You know, a game like that, first day, you don't think very much of it, but if it prevents you from getting through, then it means a heck of a lot.
Absolutely. They lost to New Brunswick by a shot also. That's how they started off the week, with 2 losses in their first 3 games. And, oh, no question about it. You think about it all the time. And but it's tough. Everybody plays 11 games. And when you go to play, let's say it's New Brunswick, maybe they bring their best game of the week. Maybe they bring their 6th best game of the week. So you don't have a lot of control over the opposition sometimes.
Sorry, Dilly. My fault.
Boy, that spins a Quebec stone into the rings, top 8, and covered. Remembering now that Manitoba is sitting 2, and they also have last rock. You know, it's the old psychologist cliche, you play in the moment. I guess it's you do all this what if after it's all over.
Yeah, you can't focus on it now. And for the teams like Quebec, they've at least left them on the last day of round-robin play in a chance to be in the playoffs. And there's going to be the what-ifs and the ups and downs and the mistakes during the week. But all you want is to get to the last day of round-robin play with that chance to be in the playoffs.
Yes, yes, yes.
By that yellow.
Whoa.
As I said, sometimes it just seems the rocks end up on the wrong spot no matter how hard you try.
Yeah, it kind of frames this run back. If you're a little off center here with Caitlin, you can get either one of the yellows. Probably the only mistake is straight back onto your own red here. Just a hair high side, hair low side, something goes.
Boy, she has pitched this one. Caitlin Laws. And just across the top.
Okay, Caitlin.
Will remove the backing and 1 Manitoba stone, leaving 2 Quebec stones in the rings.
OK. So, freeze. Ben, freeze, même si t'es parfaite, t'as fait totoc. OK. C'est bon. Blague.
I think no matter what language you speak, that was an obvious one. After seeing so many doubles made, she's saying that if we put a freeze there, they can come off the other one and still get at our rock. So she wants to just move that red one out and sit somewhere else and see if she can get a mistake.
Yes, yes. Roll, Amélie. Roll.
Very nice. That's about the best you could do. It's a flat double at least.
Merci. So.
Make the double. Oh, and she kisses the other one on the way by. Nearly got them all.
Really good throw. Great technique with that slide. And a wonderful balanced slide by Caitlin. She gets down fairly low without overextending her throwing arm. That's the key. A lot of the players, especially with the no-lift delivery, get that throwing shoulder way too far ahead. She keeps it pretty stationary, just adds a bit at the end.
It's interesting, too. She actually turns the rock and releases slightly before 12 o'clock, and that's why you see to avoid a wobble, it puts a pure rotation on. So that's why the hand doesn't look like it's at 12 o'clock. It's still a great throw when the hand is in that position.
Yep. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Well, Nova Scotia trying to chip away, keep themselves alive. Had a steal of 1 in 7. But this could be a killer here. This is a draw for 2 for Newfoundland and Labrador. And Heather Strong from the Ballyhaley in St. John's.
Not curling. Not losing the curl yet. Curling a little now. For the 5. No. Good job. Great job.
For the 2. 9-5. Nova Scotia must win.
There's a great angle. It's about a 3/4 of a rock with a pile of weight. Trying to bounce it across. Oh, they're not even going to play it, actually. Jennifer felt she couldn't throw it that hard. She's just going to try to hit and roll to the 4-foot area and get a little closer to that other Quebec rock.
And she'll roll it underneath.
I thought we were close.
Thought you'd take a crack at that one, Linda.
Between, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulled the weight back a little bit to get the roll, and just a little too thin on the first rock.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, Linda, coming in, we talked about the terrific play of Marie-France Larouche.
You have to remember, though, Jennifer Jones has 3 players in front of her with huge numbers as well, and that's why her shots have been not easy, but obviously very makeable. 100% on draws for Jennifer Jones. And interesting, Marie-France Larouche, not bad on the draws today. The hits, the position of those taps and hits, where to put the broom, that's been the problem.
The player numbers brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Yep. Come on, hurry.
Okay. Bien brossé. Bien brossé.
Just hit 2. And that's what Jennifer Jones will face with her last.
About the best you could do. I like the position of that rock. It can't be hit. And it adds a little bit of a protection coming around it.
Piece of the 8-foot. Bite the white for a single point.
Line's great, all you.
No more line.
Line's good. It's all you. Line's great. Not
How
moving
often
a whole
have
lot
we
yet.
heard that? It's
There it
all
goes.
you. An officer and an asking.
Right to the tee. Good judge, guys. Nice shot, Jen.
Not up for an Oscar this year.
Very nice. Good
But
brush.
up for some great brushing always. Single point, Manitoba. Time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca and enter the secret word for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships in Sochi, Russia. The first 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card, and all participants will get an M&M discount. We'll give you that secret word shortly, and then go to finalend.ca. We are nearing the final end of many games here, and some teams, their final games. One of those teams trying to stay alive is Saskatchewan, and Michelle Englot out of the Tartan Curling Club in Regina. Coming in with a record of 4-5, must win. Oh, the little rub didn't get through the hole. Steal of 1 more for Kerry Galusha. And so that is 4 straight ends where the Northwest Territories Yukon has stolen singles. New Brunswick gets 1 in 8. So they still trail Kim Dolan and the team from Charlottetown PEI by a couple. And in our featured game, Manitoba gets their single. They're up 7-3. Manitoba looking to put a lock on first place in the round-robin standing. And here in 9, it will be Quebec that has the last drop. They have the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Madame Muscle.
I know. Oh.
Just stopped in time. I'm not sure even if Jill can get this one. It's close.
Clean. Nice.
This is one of those games that if Quebec goes on to lose this game, and they're down quite a bit when you think of the team that they're playing and the ability to defend, you have to still take the positives from Marie-France Larouche. They've done a lot of things well. When you think of the comeback we've talked about, this game they haven't played all that badly. They've been pushed very hard by a team that's on its A game for sure. But they've done a lot of things really well, and I think you have to take that into whatever position you land in the playoffs.
The goal, I'm sure, was playoffs, so you're right. And going into the playoffs 5-1, if this is a loss, you're absolutely right. You have to be very positive.
And even in this game, although they've had some rocks end up in the wrong spot, I really like the way they've moved things around, tried different things, looked at the strengths of the Jones team and tried to find a little weakness. Today, I don't think there was one, but they've done a great job in attempting to get some points on the board.
Whoa! Clean. Just clean. You're good. Clean. That a girl. Nice hair, Jill. Nice.
Thanks, Rose.
Trying to throw up another corner.
Ça reste plus droit.
Oui, parce que c'est...
Puis elle a fini pas. Définition.
Taking that extra second to make sure you're lined up exactly where the broom is. It's so easy with the hacks. The hacks face dead straight, and if the broom's not down the middle, you have to make that adjustment. Great shot.
Very nice.
Caitlin Laws.
I think the hacks are one of the oddities of our sport because they've been similar over the years. They have changed a little bit in height and dimension and the way that they're positioned, as we see that nice shot by Caitlin, but they do still aim you down the middle. And at one point we came up with a single hack, which seemed to be the right thing for people. Have the no backswing delivery, you could put the hack in the middle. But over the years, they still have the same issue, and that it's hard to find the great spot for your foot, especially on wide shots.
No kidding, because you just want to aim down the middle, and you have to be very aware of that and adjust the entire body, your feet, your hips, your knees, your shoulders towards that target, or you're not going to slide straight.
Okay.
I may be wrong. These Marco hacks, though, are an innovation, I'd say, last 15 years or so?
Yep.
These, because it used to be just a block of wood across it, right?
Yeah, well, basically.
When did you play, Vic?
Basically, and they were a lot lower, too. The Marco hack, Vic, is really allowed for more speed for these good athletes. If you look at the ball of the foot, in Caitlin's case here, she's got her ball of the foot up higher, maybe an inch and a half higher than the surface of the ice. And it's not much different than coming out of the starting block for the 100-yard dash. It gives you that much more power.
I don't know if I read something or somebody told me a story that they actually were looking at doing something, a ratchet kind of
really?
hack where you could actually move it around. Now the problem is that after a while the wear wears out the gearing.
Well, even the single hacks move around a little bit. At one point, Vic, they actually did have a block of wood and a nail. The first World Championship for women, Lindsay Sparks, who later played with me, curled in Perth, Scotland, and it was a block of wood, a triangle of wood with a nail that you put in the ice.
No kidding.
And there were places in Europe you could play, and it was tough to get used to that.
I played in Germany, and they had part of a tire and melted into the ice for our hacks. And if you kicked out too hard, the tire would indent on the peels, and you ended up wouldn't throw it hard at all.
This was like a 10.
Needed to be inflated a little more than
exactly,
tire.
exactly.
And if we throw it hard, we'll just go back here, which isn't ideal. Oh, there with a 10?
Okay. You should, like, 3/4 of it, or?
2/3.
Okay.
Jen, do you care? Which one?
Throw the 5.
Ça te donnait plus de chance.
It's the 10, I think. Let's go try to kick it over a little bit.
Let's go, Jen.
See a big half here, and we've had problems at the start of the week in this spot. The curlers just didn't believe the curl.
Jennifer Jones.
Clean. Clean. Yeah. Oh. Just clean. 10. Clean. 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 Good.
What do you?
Nice. 9:30.
Oh, really?
Is it heavy?
She got a high
Manitoba
yeah,
will
but I
play
think it's fine.
Ontario in their final game this evening. The Ontario team from Sudbury already eliminated from playoff
What'd you get? 10?
possibility.
Juste la reculer un peu, rouler en arrière du garde.
Okay.
Mine's good.
8-9.
Okay. Non, non. Push. Non, non. No.
Really cross that center line here to get a little flop in behind.
No.
Yep.
Oh. Yep, yep, yep.
Great attempt.
Those taps are tough. It's tough for the icing and trying to throw the exact right way to get the roll. You're rolling behind an opposition rock, so already it's difficult, and then you're trying to push back the other stone.
Almost the same.
Very tough shot.
No, way less.
With this beautiful ice and the huge curl we have nowadays with these aggressive rocks, that shot's become harder. There's so much finny. You overthrow that by a foot, it doesn't curl at all. You underthrow it, it takes off. And when the ice was straight, that was a much easier shot.
Let's stick it.
All right. Let's go, Jen.
What kind of weight? Sorry?
Firm, like an 8-ish.
Okay.
Not like a slight.
I'm just reminded that
You got it.
how the game has really changed. When you think back some of those old Brier photos and games you'd see on ESPN Classic, for example, that a lot has changed, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Should be okay. Woo, that's good.
I give a lot of credit to the ice makers, Vic.
Well, then she yelled, yeah, too, so.
You know, the Al Hackners were winning Briers, curling 70, 71, 72%, and you do that now, you wouldn't have a winning record. And it's not like the athletes in the past weren't as good. It's just a wonderful, wonderful condition.
Really light.
Wait. Let's go.
Final stone drawing against a couple. Marie-France Larouche.
Yep. Yep. Yes, yes, yes.
Should be able to hold it in this spot.
Yes! Hard! Okay.
Shot.
And they will pick up their single here in 9. 7-4 Manitoba leads. Looking like they're going to clinch first place. Time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge, and the secret word is delicious. After the game, go to finalend.ca and enter that secret word, delicious, for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships in Sochi, Russia. Okay, so lots happening here on this Thursday afternoon, draw 16. We want to go first to Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, Yukon. The team from Yellowknife, Kerry Galusha, has stolen in 4 straight ends. This is a must-win for Saskatchewan and Michelle Englot out of the Tartan in Regina. Looking for the double and cannot make it, can't hold the shooter. It's a steal of 1 more to make it 7-4 for Kerry Galusha. Now on sheet D, that run back miss for Nova Scotia means it's a steal of 1 for Newfoundland and Labrador, and it'll be a win for Heather Strong. Make the final 10-5, and that eliminates Nova Scotia. They'll lose a 6th. Last year's bronze medal winners out of CFB Halifax. And on sheet C, New Brunswick coming in with 4 losses. And look at this, Prince Edward Island in the 100th game at a Scotties for Kim Dolan in her 9th appearance at the Canadian Women's Curling Championship, her first back in 1983. Playing alongside her daughter Sinead, who's on the left. This is the draw for 5. And PEI are going to win it. Make the final 11-4. And that hands New Brunswick a critical 5th loss. But it makes Kim Dolan a winner in her final game here at the Scotties.
Good job.
An emotional moment for one of the best to ever play the game, represent her province, Kim Dolan. So what do we know? Well, Manitoba is currently on the ice and leading, and if Manitoba wins, Jennifer Jones and her team from Winnipeg will clinch first place. British Columbia, sitting at 3 losses, will play tonight. Quebec in danger of losing and falling to 4 to join Team Canada. Team Canada and Alberta play their last games this evening. New Brunswick at 5 losses after their loss. Saskatchewan is at 5 and trailing to the Northwest Territories, Yukon. Saskatchewan loses, and they'll be eliminated from the playoffs. Nancy Cameron, the longtime lead for Kim Dolan. She too has announced this will be her final year. And we thank both Kim and Nancy for some wonderful curling memories here at the Scotties. Our featured game is Manitoba, Quebec. And it is Manitoba leading, and they also have the last rock coming home here in 10, playing the Redstones. And Quebec has also made a lineup change. Amélie Blais, the second, is sitting, and so Julie Ranville has come in to play this 10th.
All you can do if you're Quebec is try and get some rocks in play. They got 2 rocks out in front, and then some come-arounds were made. There is a redstone belonging to Manitoba right on the button. And then yellow's front and back house.
Clean. Clean. Shut.
Any really good news for Quebec is everything's lined right up here, all 4 of them for that matter. So it's tough to get a couple here and lose your shooter.
We're playing third stones here in this 10th.
That's clean.
Caitlin Laws.
Good, Caitlin.
You know, we see Julie Ranville is in now and playing, making her first appearance. Can't remember an event, and there probably is one, but everything's a little foggy. But the number of times we've seen a 5th player. We've seen probably 5th players this week, I think, more than we have in the past, Linda.
Well, they play 5th players so that if they make the playoffs and win, they get the awards. And the difference this week is all the illness and injury has brought 5th players in for many, many games. You look at, for example, Jolene Campbell playing with Team Canada. Of course, Tammy Schneider first an injury and then illness, and Jolene has played a lot of games for them.
And, you know, Carrie Galusha going out, having to go to the bench.
Yep, yep. Yes, yes.
New Brunswick's had to make the change too with Jody DeSola pulling some rib muscles, and they've had to bring on their 5th player. So, as it's pointed out, very nice draw by Brenda Nichols. Sometimes you just don't. Hey, Bob, want to be our 5th? You pick a 5th player with a purpose.
Well, great point, though, because a lot of people didn't before. You brought your best friend or somebody that you knew would enjoy the event, and no longer the way it is. You have to bring an athlete that's prepared not only to spare, but to spare at any position.
He never asked me.
I'm amazed, Vic. I've seen you brush, too. No one works harder than Vic when you brush.
Yes. Don't do anything, but I work hard at it.
It's his extension cord on the broom that bothers me.
It's right. Well, it's going to set up a very interesting final draw this evening. 17th and final round robin draw. Potential is there for tiebreakers. If everything just holds true to what's on the ice here in these remaining 2 games.
Yeah, Nila.
Yes, yes.
Yes, line.
Oh oui, calm down. Yes.
Right. Oh. 5. OK. On est sur la garde. On est sur 4. That's fine.
Yes.
Qu'est-ce qu'on fait?
Yes, yes,
yes.
Vraiment rien.
What?
I think it's great, though, when you come to an event like this where a round robin is in place. It is required and needed, and all those words, that the teams out of contention continue to play as best they can, and we've just seen it on this draw. Everybody comes out for every game and brings their best game, and that's why you see upsets, but that's the fair way to approach a round robin.
Well, nobody lays down.
No, not at all.
And full credit to them.
Got the 3 down.
Yep. Let's go, Jen.
Straight to it.
Yep.
A very tall order to get 3 first, and then steal 3 is the taller order, and Jennifer Jones knows that and knows she doesn't need to do anything dramatic here with the rocks sitting the way they are.
Line's good.
Try to pull back. Line's good. Got to curl hair.
To it. Right to it. Just clean. It's all there. All there. Hold in. Coming off
Line's
the hair.
good. Still there. Still there.
Still there. Yeah.
Line's good. Line's good.
You might not even see a throw at a Marie here. I don't see a
Very nice, Jen.
a triple and hang around here, do you?
No. There you go.
So Manitoba will run Quebec out of stones here in 10. Make the final 7-4. And with the win, Manitoba will clinch first place in round robin and a spot in that 1-2 page playoff game. Their record goes to 8-3. Quebec drops to 7-4, and their round robin is complete. So now we've got the 3 teams at 4 losses. British Columbia will play tonight as well. New Brunswick's currently, they've lost earlier. They're at 5 losses. Saskatchewan trying a desperate comeback if they can, trailing by 3. They could be eliminated as well. It's the only game left on the ice. And that scoreboard is
9.
record tying at the moment.
That's good icing.
And all those single steals to Michelle Englot look like a picket fence keeping her out of the
9
playoffs.
there.
Saskatchewan started with a record of 4-2 and have lost the last 3. Carrie Galusha has put on a show today. I already mentioned teams out of the playoffs. Well, she's a great player, and she has played so well.
And she's overcome, of course, the flu that really has ravaged this year's event. So many players feeling the effects.
Just clean. Clean.
And that will do it. Earlier today, Carrie Galusha played giant killer, knocking off Team Canada. And now she'll end the hopes of another favorite coming in, Saskatchewan, and Michelle Englot handing her a 7-4 loss. And more importantly, a 6th loss in round robin play. And so Saskatchewan and Englot from the Tartan Curling Club in Regina have been eliminated. So the teams still in contention. Well, we know Manitoba still has 1 more game, but they have locked up first place. BC, Quebec is done. Team Canada, Alberta, New Brunswick, they will all battle for a tie-breaking spot. New Brunswick, though, that loss is critical. They're going to need some teams to lose tonight to be in a tiebreaker. It's been another great Scotties for Manitoba and Jennifer Jones.
The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Scotties, proud supporter of women's curling for over 30 years. The 2012 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's.
Let's take a look at the game story, Linda.
The story was really great execution by Manitoba. That led to many steals. Wonderful numbers for the whole team, but it's the first time Brenda Nichols from Quebec, playing third, has been given a minus. That's outcurled by more than 5 percentage points. A wonderful performance by Jennifer Jones and her team.
The game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. So 1 round robin draw remains, and we'll have it for you tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Michelle Englot, her hopes were ended in a loss to the Northwest Territories Yukon. Will she end the hopes of Amber Holland and the defending Canadian champions? That will be our feature tonight when we join you at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, also on the ice tonight, New Brunswick try and stay alive. Alberta's there at 4 losses. We'll shake it all out, but we know that Team Canada will try to stay alive tonight. Manitoba has clinched first place. So till we talk with you again at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, thank you for joining us on behalf of Linda, Russ, Brian, and our entire crew. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts is here on Canada's sports leader, TSN.